Hello, hi dear friends. Today in this video, we will learn or we will discuss about the depiction of human life in Jhumpa Lahiri, an interpreter of melodies, and in her works, an approach searching the roots of humanity. Dear friends, human life is an unique texture of opposite ideas, opposite sentiments, comprises of joys and sorrows, stress, confession and hiding secrets, pain and suffering, hopes and disappointment, depression and enjoyment, celebration of beautiful things and sufferings, and sharing of sad, ugly, and painful things, challenging and submissive feelings, compassion of human elements. Literature is a mirror of a human life that portrays the human feelings, thoughts, and imaginations. So we find human wishes, predicaments, joys and sorrows, emotions, sentiments, feelings, problems, cultural customs and traditions, longings expressed in an artistic and imaginative way in literature. Even Matthew Arnold defined as poetry as the criticism of life. Perhaps you may know that his view regarding to the poetry as a criticism of life. So what he said is maybe applied not only to poetry but also to literature in general. While explaining the meaning and values of literature, he claims the essential requisites that the society provide to a reader to produce the work of art. Literature is the part of riches of human experiences, their living, their pain, and celebrates their humanity. Today, in this lecture, we will see how Jhumpa Lahiri has depicted human life very beautifully. Very, she is excelled in depicting the human life in her works. Dear friends, we know that literature is the foundation of humanity, culture, belief, tradition, values, emotions, feelings, and sentiments. It serves as a reflection of reality, product of art, and a window to ideas. Everything that happens within the society can be written, recorded in, and learned from a piece of literature. Whether a prose or poetry, literature provides insights, knowledge, or wisdom and emotions towards the person who engage in it. Life is manifested in the forms of literature. Without literature, life ceases to exist. It is an embodiment of the world based on the human tragedies, desires, feelings, emotions. It cultivates wonders, inspires a generation, and feeds information. Literature contributes significant purpose to world we live in. Literature is the foundation of religious idea, truth, and belief in human beings. Literature explains human values. The works of Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Shakespeare, Kalidas, even great writers from all over Europe and other continents contains virtues that promotes the perfection to a society. The importance of human value, human wisdom. Literature truthfully and logically records their ideas. Imaginative literature frames human disquiet emotions, motives, values, belief, love for tradition and culture, human problems and predicaments, their sentiments and responses to different situations at different socio-cultural positions, and also offers pro- probable remedies to all those problems which are suffered imaginatively by the protagonist or the character and might be in reality somewhere in the remote corner of the world. Literature gives an opportunity to study of human group behavior. It describes social values and system. Novel, with its vast canvas, accommodates various themes and characters, but Short story has to limit its privileges at the same time as to fulfill the mission of presenting a slice of life. Jhumpa Lahiri skillfully uses both novel as well as short stories to describe human life. Human beings live for greater pleasures or happiness. Happiness, as the satisfaction or pleasure, is the source of positive reaction. We know that. It is actually dependent enjoyment of inner values as the goal of human fulfillment, and progress is the dominant axiom in humanistic thought. Happiness becomes a value when it promotes more positive attitude, optimism, less restrictions, and more freedom, self satisfaction, enthusiasm, interest, peace of mind, relaxation, and avoidance of conflict. The quest for identity, value without any violation of individual freedom, getting self satisfaction, enthusiasm, interest, peace of mind, relaxation in cultural practices for the first generation immigrant, and the understanding and acceptance of the point of view, individualism, and opinions of the second generation of the immigrant for the avoidance of the conflict are ample examples in the writings of Jhumpa Lahiri. There is a pursuit of happiness and the pursuit for the better life in each stories and novel of Jhumpa Lahiri. But no character is appeared as fully satisfied or happy. This is what life is. And Jhumpa Lahiri aptly described it in her works. All her characters, right from Ashok, Ashyama, Google, Mosmi, Damitri, Sonia, in Namesake, Shobha and Shiv Kumar, Leela and Mr. Pirzada, Twinkle and Sanjeev, Aparna and Usha, Mr. and Mrs. Sen, Mr. and Mrs. Das and Mr. Kapasi, Burima from Interpreter of Melodies, Amit and Megan, Ruma and her father, Hema and Kaushik, Romi, the brother of Ruma, and Sudha, Rahul Mukherjee, even the Sudha's younger brother. All these characters are from the her stories Unaccustomed Earth. Even the Subhash, Udayan, Gauri, Bela from Lowland. All characters exhibits the strange pursuit of happiness on their own level. We can see a strange play of happiness and sorrow, freedom and restriction, emotions, feelings in her characters. Friends, you know that human life is colored with the human relationship. And you know that it appears she describes, Jhumpa describes this human life with different perspectives in a very new light. Besides, individual to society, there are different types of relationship. For example, the man-women relationship that includes the husband and wife relationship, or extramarital relationship, or illicit relationship, even the sibling relationship, then the parent-child relationship that includes the grandparent and the grandchildren relationship, everything, every kind of relationship. So it is interesting to note that the works of Jhumpa Lahiri portrays the all types of the affinities among the human beings in a broad spectrum. These relationships acquires new dimensions with their perspectives because Jhumpa Lahiri is settled down in abroad with her roots in Bengal, more precisely in Calcutta. Man-women relationship in which man's role is dynamic and women's role is passive is the pattern that goes deep into the Indian ethos. But with the rise of the widespread of feminism and with the change of point of view, the postmodern novelist depicts man-women relationship on the equal footing. Earlier, the role of man or husband was different from today. I here remember the famous lines from Lord Tennyson's poem in Princess, where he wrote, "Man for the field and women for hell, hearth, man for sword and for the needle she, man with the head and women with the heart, man to command and women to obey. All else is confusion." But today the situation is changed. Women are handling all situations at both ends with perfect ease. Diaspora has brought new phenomenon characteristics by the lack of affection, divorce, cheating, hatred, and emotional abuse between the husband and wife. So women finds a new confidence from protection of the law and is not afraid to stand on her own ground, while the man feels helpless. Jhumpa Lahiri, as a modern writer, tries to depict this changed situation in her stories. She explores a relationship that exists between the husband and wife in arranged marriage as well as in love marriage. Marriage in the same as well as in a different race. She also visits those areas of immigrant experiences that determines the nature of conjugal relationship. There is also the marriage where the couple shared mutual love and respect. Marriage and its problem are the major concerns in the works of Jhumpa. It is partly because of her Indian roots, which believes marriage as Hindu sanskar, and partly because of the fact that it is an institution universally accepted and respected across the cultures. In Interpreter of Melodies, we come across number of loveless marriages, that of Mrs. Das and Mr. Kapasi and of Mrs. Sain, and even in namesake it is the marriage that dislocates Ashiyama and sends her in the America to strike her roots. It is the failed marriage of Gogol with Moshmi that reminds him of his father and a tradition he must respect. In Accustomed Earth and Hell and Heaven, Lahiri introduced the few couples that marriage has brought together, but those relationships pass through some critical phases. A Temporary Matter is a very short story of Shobha and Shukumar, whose marriage disintegrates in front of the reader's eye as the couple is unable to cope with the loss of their baby. Through the alienation and inability to discuss their loss, Lahiri shows the fragility of the couple's marriage and crack the marriage as an institution can't hold together. Last House also focused on the newlywed couple Twinkle and Sanjeev. The importance of communication and its breaking down, which leads the mutual misunderstanding. So it is also visible in her all stories. Interpreter of Melodies is again a short stories of two couples trapped in loveless marriage, where the collapse of communication is a crucial symptoms. So it is interesting to note that Jhumpa Lahiri has portrayed all types of family and human relationships, mother-son relation, mother and daughter, father and son, father and daughter, brother and sister, cousin relationships, even relationship between the individual to society or a group. She describes her description of a human life is the best when she describes a very few the views of the first and the second generation of immigrants. It can be observed that she maintained the perfect balance while describing the experiences of the first or the second generation. On one hand, she describes the pangs, agonies, sentiments, curse in which the first generation is caught up, and she also describes the complexities and dual identity and the struggle for individualism of the second generation on the other hand. It is interesting to note that Jhumpa Lahiri knows the importance of child in family and values the opinion and thinking of the second generation. Therefore, many of her narrators are children who are matured enough. So, Lahiri shows a superb aesthetic experience which lies at the center of the development of the human life. Her characters experiences exhibits new and fresh perspectives on language and day-to-day life of displaced people. In her works displays a steadfast curiosity about the human behaviors and healthy respects for its mystery. The works of Jhumpa Lahiri perfectly chart out the emotional journey of the characters seeking love beyond the barriers of nation and the generation. Life is viewed as a nostalgic recollection through the eyes of sensitivity and observant characters. Jhumpa Lahiri does not write from the position of a distant observer, rather, she uses a character within a story to reflect on maladies and problems of immigrants. She uses the experimental narrative technique in her story, the treatment of BB, and baby, where she uses the voice of group of women in a locality as a point of view to narrate the story. From this point of view, Jhumpa Lahiri is a very superb writer expressing and analyzing the human problems, emotions, feelings from multi angles. Her efforts to bring out the meeting for the past and the present has been intensified by her nostalgic element of characters. Her stories springs from the love for human beings and a close contact with what happens to them. She displays a steadfast curiosity about the human behavior and the healthy respect for its mystery. According to Nigamdan Das, Jhumpa Lahiri makes her reader to share the characters' tragedy, their nostalgic experiences, and their day-to-day problems, emotions, various sentiments, wrongs and good done to them, and leave her stories open-ended to draw her reader their own conclusion. She pictures how the life abroad is exciting, a bit absurd, and often lonely. So it is interesting to note that each her story interprets the character's sufferings, sacrifices, struggles. Here, I would like to say that the works of Jhumpa Lahiri shows how love, emotional connections, marriages falling apart, a new relation bond, extramarital affairs, all different shades of modern relationships are beautifully intertwined with each other. But by crossing the threshold of culture, nation, tradition, and customs, are human beings happy? Are immigrants happy? And if not, then modernity should not be blamed. Modernity or globalization or immigration should not be blamed. It has set both men and women free and wiped off the gender discrimination. At the same time, it decreased the economical dependence. But what if it has made both genders equally insecure and faithless? Emotional bankruptcy, lack of sentiments, insincerity, arrogance, waywardness, impatience, hate, distrust seem to be hallmarks of modernity, globalization, and immigration. If honesty, discipline, integrity, sincerity, tolerance, patience, love, faith, compromise, sharing are synonyms with tradition, the remedy for all modern maladies, problems is there. Lahiri deals with the characters without leaving any personal impression on them and allows them to develop independently. Her characters are neither good nor bad, but are self-centered and truly represents the human conditions. She presents them without cynicism and make us love them. So this is what my thinking, my views on the human life and the works of Jhumpa Lahiri. I hope you like it. Please comment and please share your views, your comments to me. I am available. My mail ID, even I am available on academia. You can easily contact to me. So please do comment. Thank you. Thanks a lot.